It's that time of the year again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to my official top 3 most overrated teams for 2022. These are 3 teams I guarantee you will finish lower in the AP poll than where they are ranked in the preseason. This is an annual tradition. I do it every year. Last year, I nailed it with Iowa State and others. I can really zero in and pick 3 teams I know will disappoint based on a number of factors, whether it's schedule, whether it's an overrated quarterback, just my current vibe on the team. Let's get into it. First, I'm going to go over a few honorable mentions because only 3 teams, I mean, there's going to be more than 3 teams that disappoint, but I'm just going to go through this. So number 1 is Auburn. Now, I don't think Auburn will be in the preseason top 25 poll, but for some reason, ESPN FPI has Auburn 11th. But they're just an honorable mention because Auburn is a dumpster fire. They're going to lose to Penn State at home. They have a brutal schedule. The team the East team that they face is Georgia. And then, of course, they face Bama. They face all the tough teams from the SEC West. They're going to lose 7 games. Next, honorable mention, Pittsburgh. I'm just not seeing it with Pittsburgh. I keep, looking at the people's preseason rankings. Everyone has Pittsburgh inside their top 25. I think they go 6-6, losing Jordan Addison in an underrated ACC conference. There's a few tough games for them. Last game of the regular season, I think they faced Miami. So Pittsburgh, I think they lose 5 or 6 games and finish outside of the final AP top 25 rankings. And then also LSU. LSU, I guess, could be ranked inside the preseason top 25. Probably will based on talent. Jayden Daniels, decent transfer from Arizona State, but this is me simply not buying Brian Kelly at all. He is a horrible fit with LSU. They will go 6-6, barely make a bowl game, so LSU is another team that's not going to do anything in 2022, or it's going to be very tough for them to do anything because Brian Kelly is just such a bad fit with that program. But let's get to my actual top 3 on the record. Most overrated teams for 2022. Coming in at number 3, it's going to be Georgia. Now, guys, you take a look at their schedule, relatively easy. The week 1 game versus Oregon, I expect them to win. I will say there are a few sneaky tough matchups. The tough matchups to me, week 3 at South Carolina, noon game. Georgia, I am predicting, will be upset. Week 3 by Spencer Rattler. That will be their first loss. I also think they lose the neutral site game with Florida. That's their second loss. And then if they make the SEC championship game, they're going to lose to Alabama. That's their third loss. Guys, people underrate how hard it is to repeat as national champions. Stetson Bennett sure isn't going to do it. Let's be real. Georgia is replacing 5 defensive first-round picks. I realize they recruit really well, but it's simply just not Georgia's year, and I will bet any Georgia fan right now that Georgia will not make the playoff. I guarantee it. They're currently FPI number 3 team. I'm expecting them to be ranked 3rd in the AP preseason poll behind Alabama and Ohio State. I guarantee you they will finish lower than 3rd in the final AP poll, guaranteed. They're going to lose 2 regular season games, and then if they make the SEC championship, they're going to lose to Bama too, even with this decently easy schedule. I'm not seeing it this year with Georgia. Nothing against their program. They just won the national championship. Their fans should be happy, but you have to realize it's not going to happen this year. I'm not feeling it, guys. I've been doing this a while. Trust me, it's not happening with Georgia. If you don't believe me, just watch what happens, guys. Just watch what happens. Georgia, number 3 most overrated team. If you are picking them to go, if you're picking Stetson Bennett to go back-to-back, oh my God, get real. I don't think, well, actually, I haven't seen many people predict Georgia to win the national title, but I do see them being predicted to make the playoffs. So they are my number 3 team. Moving down to my number 2 most overrated team for 2022. It's going to be Baylor. And the reason it's Baylor is due to a number of factors. I think when you factor in Baylor overperforming last year, it's kind of raised the expectations this year. I saw one preseason poll that had Baylor ranked 5th. Now, currently they're FPI number 22. I think the AP preseason poll will put them at around 15th to 20th. And I am guaranteeing right now, Baylor will not be ranked in the final AP poll. I'm guaranteeing that. You take a look, it's a combination of them kind of overachieving last year. I love their coach, don't get me wrong, but the talent isn't there. They really don't recruit that well, and they also have a very tough schedule. Take a look. Week 2 at BYU, possible loss. You know, week 4 at Iowa State, possible loss. Week 5 versus Oklahoma State, possible loss. Week 6 at West Virginia is not a gimme. And then you've got at Oklahoma versus Kansas State, versus TCU, and at Texas. That is a tough schedule. I'm looking at 5 or 6 losses for the Baylor Bears in 2022, and I respect their program, but it's a combination of them overachieving last year, people putting their expectations too high for them. They're gonna disappoint some people. They will go under their total wins. I don't know what Vegas has them at total wins. I would guess it'd be probably 8, maybe 8.5. They're going to go under it most certainly with that tough schedule and the fact that they overachieved last year. They're going to come back down to the pack this year, and I have them as my number 2 most overrated team, but there can only be one. My most overrated team in 2022, it actually is another Big 12 team. It's going to be Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State last year, unbelievable year. You know, they lose Jim Knowles. They lose their starting running back. They do return Spencer Sanders, the QB, but it wasn't like it's not like Spencer Sanders is anything special. 20 touchdowns to 12 interceptions last year for a college quarterback. Those are, especially in the Big 12, those are mediocre numbers. They're just mediocre. You're looking at the schedule. You know, week 1 is a free win. Week 2, a home game versus Arizona State. Probably a win, but I could see them getting upset. Week 3 is a win. Week 4 at Baylor, the battle of the overrateds. the battle of the overrateds. Week 5 versus Texas Tech, probably a win. But then take a look at this stretch they have. So they're at TCU. That's no gimme. Versus Texas, at Kansas State, at Kansas. They get a little bit of an off week. Versus Iowa State, at Oklahoma. That is a brutal, brutal stretch in the Big 12. I'm expecting the Big 12 to eat itself this year. There's going to be a lot of average teams. Kansas State is underrated. TCU is going to upset a few teams. Iowa State's going to make some noise. All these teams are just, they're so similar. You're going to get a lot of 7-6 or 7-5, 6-6, 5-7 type teams. There's going to be a lot of average in the Pac-12, and this is a team that right now is preseason FPI ranked 14th. The AP poll is probably going to have them somewhere in the top 15. I am guaranteeing they will finish outside the top 25. They're going to lose 6 games. They're going to go 6-6. That is my projection on Oklahoma State. There's just too many losable games. Week 2, Arizona State's a losable game. At Baylor, at TCU, versus Texas, at Kansas State, that's 5. Versus Iowa State, at Oklahoma, that's 7 very losable games. Even a team like West Virginia as well. So guys, this is a team really overrated. Bet the under on their Vegas over-under wins. I think their number is only 7.5. Maybe, I don't know what it is, but it might be 8. But either way, guys, my top 3 most overrated teams, Georgia. You know, it's going to be tough for Georgia to really lose 3 or 4 games because they have a very easy schedule, or a relatively easy schedule. You know, the non-conference week 1 game, the neutral site game in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, it's a real neutral site game, but you know, they're going to lose 2 regular season games, and if they do lose 2 regular season games, that will be a major letdown. I'm telling you guys, Georgia, the expectations are sky high. The expectation for Georgia is to make the playoff at the very least, and I don't think they're going to do that. So they're number 3. Number 2, it is Baylor. That's a combination of them overachieving last year and a tough schedule. Very tough non-conference week 2 game at BYU. Yikes. They're gonna have a tough year. And then number 1, another Big 12 team, Oklahoma State. Once again, guys, the Big 12 is going to eat itself this year, not buying the Oklahoma State hype. They'll probably be ranked inside, the preseason top 20 or top 15. They're going to finish unranked. Baylor will finish unranked, and Georgia will finish at least outside the top 6. Again, it's tough to say Georgia's going to finish outside the top 10 or 15 because they have an easy schedule. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, the East is watered down, but still, they're not going to live up to expectations in 2022. So, guys, this is officially on record, and I still have my most underrated teams video. That video is going to be coming out in the coming days. Watch out for that. But, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.